Hi, grade ones and twos. I hope you had a great weekend. Today is Monday, the 27th of July, and we're in maths. So our learning intention today, solving multiplication problems using groups. That's our main focus today. So this whole week and next week, we're going to be looking at multiplication. We'll talk about what it is very soon. To be successful today, I know that multiplication means to add the same number over and over. Also, I can draw circles and dots to work out multiplication. That's going to help us be successful this week. All right, here's the definition for multiplication. So multiplication is when you take one number and add it together a number of times. All right, so we've got an equation here, 3 multiplied by 2. We can also say 3 times 2. All right, this is the multiplication symbol, the X. So we can also say times. So for example, with 3 times 2, we can say 3 multiplied by 2, or we can say 3 times 2. Another way that what Mr. Lorico likes to do is put equations into a story, make it into a story. I have 3 bananas, and I want to multiply them by 2. What would my answer be? Here is how I've worked out 3 times 2. So using equal groups, that's going to be the strategy we're going to focus on this week. Using equal groups can help solve multiplication. So we're going to look at 3 times 2. I know some of you might know the answer at the top of your head. That's great. But I want you to know exactly how to work them out. So let's look at 3 times 2. This means we are timesing 3 2 times. Okay, so if I've got 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3, and it's like a clone. Think of like a clone machine. So I've got 3 blocks, and I want to clone them times 2. So I want to make 2 groups of them now. That was my little clone noise. Okay, so 3 times 2 equals 6. All right, so I've done that with using my circles and dots. I've got 3 dots in one group, and I want to multiply it by 2. So I've already got one. I want to multiply it by a second one. There's my 2. Now I've got 2 groups. The second number, this is a good one to remember, the second number in your equation is how many groups you should have. And the first number is how many should be in each group. And your answer is how many you have all together. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's really important that we know how to add to work out multiplication. So 3 times 2 equals 6. I'm going to go through another multiplication equation now. So I'm going to look at 4 multiplied by 3. What's another way that we can say that? 4 times 3 equals, we don't know yet, but I'm going to work that out using the strategy of groups. So remember, to be successful today, I can draw circles and dots to help me work it out. My circles are my groups. All right, so Mr. Lorico loves to put things into stories. So any equation that we've got, I've got 4 carrots, and I want to multiply them by 3. So I want to clone them. It's like multiplying is like cloning. You are adding the same number over and over again. All right, so I'm going to use dots. So I've got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now I want 3 groups of them. Okay, so there's one group. So notice how I'm using my circles and dots. So far, I've got one group of 4. Right, now I want to clone them 3 times. So I've got one. Let me draw my 4 dots again. There's 2. And there's 3. All right, as I said earlier, the first number in your multiplication equation is how many should be in each group. How many groups is your second number. Okay, so we've got 3 groups. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and in each of the groups, I've got 4. So now I can add them all up, and I've got my answer to what 4 times 3 is. So I can count by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or hopefully, if you can count by 4s, it will make it even easier. 4, 8, 12. 4 times 3 equals 12. Let's go through one more. All right, how about 2 times 5? Okay, so now I know that looking at the second number is how many groups. If I can remember that, it'll get easier and easier every time I do multiplication. Second number is how many groups, so I need 5 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 groups. And how many do I need in each group? It's the first number. I need 2 in each group. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now I'm pretty sure that you're good at counting by your 2s. So let's count by 2s to add all the dots, because that's going to give us our final answer to what 2 times 5 is, or 2 multiplied by 5 is. Let's count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2 times 5 equals 10. So your task today, now you're already watching the instruction video, but in your maths book, you need to work out the multiplication equations that are down here using circles and dots. So in your maths book, you'll need to make sure that you write the heading. I like to write my heading in capitals. Multiplication. It's a big word. Multiplication. Okay, and then you can show your working out underneath. Okay, please use your space well. Okay, make it as neat as you possibly can in your maths books. Right, and remember that the first number is how many dots you're going to have in each group, and the second number is how many groups. Okay, and then your answer is how many dots all together. All right, so I want you to give that a practice now, and if you're able to, take a photo of your work at the end and you can post it. Okay, if not, that's okay. You can still write on the comments, I have completed my work in my maths book, and then maybe we can share it during our class meeting on Friday, or even in our small group meetings. Okay, so let's start practicing multiplication.